is America's coolest conservative and the future king of talk radio. 107.9 FM WBT presents The TJ Ritchie Show.
Oh, we got to bring it hard tonight. Bringing it hard. Unapologetic, in-your-face conservatism from the most famous and legendary active radio personality in Charlotte. 704-570-1079 is the number. I think you can call and text tonight. You can do both of those things. You can text thanks to Liberty Buick GMC. So we got both tonight, Lonnie? All right. So I want to hear your beautiful voices on the phone. Yay. Especially all of your beautiful voices who call me a racist and a Nazi and a homophobe and a whatever else. Yay. Love it. Love it. So clever. All right. I gotta tell you, last night I spoke, I don't know. I guess I spoke out of turn last night in regards to the mental well-being of one Mr. James Carville, a.k.a. the Ragin' Cajun. And once again, as a person, a Louisianian, I was born and raised in Louisiana. Every man who has ever lived south of Alexandria, Louisiana, has referred to himself as the Ragin' Cajun at some point or another in life. So it's not really anything original. But be that as it may, I said James Carville had lost his mind. I said James Carville was suffering from just the late stages of Trump derangement syndrome, and that he was just off his rocker now. And a lot of people spoke up last night and said, you shouldn't talk about James Carville that way. He's a brilliant man. He's a brilliant strategist. He got Bill Clinton elected the first time. He has no morals whatsoever. So that makes him a good political strategist, especially for the left. He was the one that famously, when Miss Paula Jones said that Bill Clinton had attacked her, she accused him of sexual misconduct with her. James Carville's the one that said, you drag $1 through a trailer park, you never know what you're going to get, or something like that. He and the wonderful, fair and balanced journalist from ABC, George Stephanopoulos, worked together to threaten and try to ruin the lives, if I remember correctly, ruin the lives of innocent women who came out and accused Bill Clinton of sexual misconduct. One lady named Juanita Broderick actually accused him of rape. And I know it was Stephanopoulos' job to discredit them and make them never wish that they had ever come forward and basically ruin their lives. He was the head of what they would call the bimbo eruption. But that's all in the past. And James Carville does have legitimate concerns about the way President Trump is running things. And I'm, like I always do, I just shot my mouth off, trying to be funny, trying to be clever. And I called him crazy and insane and stupid. And I said he looked like he'd been dead for several years and so forth and so on. But obviously the man still has all his faculties. And I just want to apologize because today I found this clip of Mr. Carville, and it set me straight. I was completely wrong in what I said last night about the fact that he had just completely lost it. Here's what I'm talking about.
I don't know how many times I got to tell you, stupid quit smelling your own farts. That's Lindsey Graham's job. Now, you quit doing that. Now, the next time you feel any potential activity in your lower colon, I want you to call Lindsey and be sure that he has the fart ringtone so he knows to get down to the White House quickly to get his nose up and so you can fart in his face. Quit smelling your own farts. You got that? And if you're nice to Lindsay, he might let you smell one of his. All right, now, you stop smelling your own farts. That's Lindsay's job. And if you ask Lindsay nice, who knows? Maybe y'all could just get into a fart smelling contest and, but we're going to post a fart ringtone so you can give that to Lindsay so he knows when to hurry up and get down to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. And you just sit still and prepare to get your kicked. You're going to get it kicked so bad.
So I apologize. Ladies and gentlemen, the great James Carville, the Ragin' Cajun. I mean, Trump doesn't stand a chance against that kind of brain power. I'm going to tell you right now. Now, a part of me hopes that is some sort of an AI thing, that really didn't happen. But I haven't been able to find anything that says that it's not real. Anything to debunk that. And I guess what he's talking about is you're full of yourself. I'm not sure. That's not Louisiana language I've ever heard. That if you are full of yourself, then you're smelling your own farts. Maybe that's like a super old school Cajun thing. I'm not a Cajun. I'm not from that part of the state. It's a completely different culture than where I'm from. I don't know if he was drunk. I don't even know if he drinks. But he's a Cajun, so probably he does. But he may have had problems with it in the past and he had to quit. I don't know. But listening to that, I don't know. I've only listened to it maybe about 71 times today. I think that's what he's talking about. If you know that old school, if that's some sort of an old school rural kind of euphemism, call me and tell me about it, because I've never heard that. And I use some old school rural country phrases a lot. I throw them out there, but I've never heard that one. Smelling your own farts I'm figuring that means you're full of yourself, and you don't need to be doing that because your cheerleader, your little buddy, Lindsey Graham, is doing that for you. So you don't need to pump yourself up, Trump, because Lindsey Graham is always there to pump you up and do that work for you. So no need to smell your own farts. Lindsey Graham is smelling them for you. I don't know. Maybe we need to call somebody over to the college and see if there's a professor over there of linguistics or something. Colloquialisms. The doctor of that to figure it out. I don't know, but I want more of that, please. Ragin' Cajun, if you can give us more of those, give me some of those every day. I'll take them, please. Stop smelling your own farts. Stop smelling your own farts. I tell you what, you got Lindsey Graham to smell your own fart for you. You don't need to smell them. Lindsey Graham, maybe Lindsey let you smell his fart. Huh? What? Beg your pardon? All right, and something is going on with Sandy Cortez. Something is, a change is afoot about Sandy Cortez that's kind of creepy. As a matter of fact, it's really creepy. And I'm probably the first one to notice this, because I am America's #1 societal profiler. So I'll throw it out there and see what you think about it. I'll give you my theory on it, and then we will discuss one with another. Coming up next.
It's the TJ Ritchie Show on 107.9 WBT, Charlotte's FM News Talk. He is Charlotte's most charmed and dangerous, always speaking the truth, whether you like it or not. It's TJ Ritchie on Charlotte's FM News Talk, 107.9 FM, WBT.
I am an unpaid radio genius. Coming into your homes and cars, night after night after night, enriching your life as you enrich mine. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just trying to be dramatic and all. Except for that first part about an unpaid radio genius. I am that. It's kind of liberating, though, not having, what people would call a quote-unquote paycheck. All right, 704-570-1079. We're off to a great start here tonight. Why? Because I started it. That's why. Because it's great, because I'm great. Okay. Sandy Cortez, a.k.a. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Jazz. Something's going on with her. Now, I know there's always something going on with her microscopic mind and the whole thing. She's not a very bright person. And that's a shame because she's pretty. Those good looks go to waste on such an idiot. Idiot. But something else is happening, something creepy with her. And, nothing in politics is accidental. Nothing just happens in politics. Like this whole, what's his name? Eric Swalwell thing. It wasn't that all of a sudden they just start finding out about these women who are accusing him of these things. That was strategical. Something about the way the system works in California, where the two top candidates for governor are the two that run against each other, and they knew that he had all this baggage out there, so they brought it out now so they could get him out of the race and all that stuff. Everything in politics is done by design. And this is not the first one of these things that I have caught lately of AOC, a.k.a. Sandy Cortez. But she's, everybody's freaking out in this audio clip that I'm about to play because it was a video that I took off the social medias. And she's riding a bike or a scooter. She's got a bike helmet on. She's got her earbuds in. And the camera's right on her, so you can tell she's riding a bike or a scooter or something while she's talking. And she's talking about President Trump being a rapist and a pedophile and all, the usual stuff. Stuff that if he got a grit mind to, he would sue her for defecation. She ain't never been sued till she's been sued by Trump for defecation of character. Tell you that. So listen to this. Tell me if you hear anything, you let me know. Call 704-570-1079. If you hear anything creepy in this, listen.
Said that he has in fact raped a woman, and by all means and circumstances, the President of the United States is a rapist. The President of the United States is implicated in the Epstein files. He is convicted in court on 34 counts of fraud, felony fraud. And I'm sorry.
So I think those are bumps that she's hitting, and then that jingle that she's making is something like it's either the bell on her bicycle handlebars that just clink, clink when you hit a bump, or either it's a scooter. It's probably one of those city scooters, those trashy things that she's on. But it's quite annoying. Okay, here we go.
It has trickle down effect, because when that guy can do it and become president of the United States, then what happens is that you get all these members that think, oh, well, you know what? I can, being a member of Congress is nowhere near the responsibility of being president of the United States. I can abuse people and still keep my job, too.
Does she not sound like a child? Why does she sound like a little girl all of a sudden? Now, I know she always sounds immature. She always sounds like a dingbat. She always sounds like a moron, ding-a-ling. But this is different. This is something creepy and weird. She sounds like like the voice that would be coming out of a possessed doll in a horror movie or something. Just that little part. I'm gonna back that up a little bit. See if I can back it up a little bit here. Go, listen.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
It has trickle-down effect. Trickle-down effect. Because when that guy can do it and become president of the United States, then what happens is that you get all these members that think, oh, well, you know what? I can, being a member of Congress is nowhere near the responsibility of being president of the United States. I can abuse people and still keep my job, too.
Oh, my God. And still keep my job, too. Sorry, I just spat upon my microphone. But how creepy is that? Oh my God, what is she doing? Riding a scooter, nonetheless. It's a whole effect. Riding a scooter like a little girl and talking like a little possessed doll in a horror movie. What are you doing, Ayok? What are you doing, Sandy? I'm Sandy Cortez. Will you come play with me? Sandy, get it together, girl. Why are they making her do this? What is the strategy behind this? All right, there's some more of it. I don't know if I can take it. I'm going to be scared. Hide your children. Don't let them get freaked out.
I'm sorry, and I know that some people are going to be mad about that. I know
you're going to be mad at me. Don't be mad at me, Mommy. Mommy, don't be mad at me, Mommy. I didn't mean it, Mommy.
Republicans are going to be pissed off that I said that, but genuinely, truly, deeply, if you support and think Donald Trump should continue to be president of the United States, then unfortunately, you have no leg to stand on in talking about what members of Congress should resign. Fortunately, I have the same standard for everybody.
Fortunately? Wow, that's a big word for a little girl your age. So I guess what she's talking about is she doesn't want Eric Swalwell to resign. I don't know. I was too taken aback by the fact that she sounds like the Annabelle, the possessed doll. Chucky. That's what we need to start calling her, is Chucky Cortez. Whoa. Then I saw another video of her. I didn't have time to get it to Lonnie Ray to pull the audio from it, where she's sitting on the ground with a little child, and she's interviewing the child like Miss Rachel or some damn body. That witch. By the way, if you have kids and grandkids that are preschool age, don't let them watch Miss Rachel. Trust me. Do not let them get any bit of Miss Rachel in their lives. Don't do it. So we're on the case here with this Sandy Cortez thing. Little Sandy Cortez. You know what it reminds me of? Y'all ever heard that Christmas song? I don't even know if it was supposed to be a Christmas song, but it ended up being a Christmas song by Dolly Parton called Me and Little Andy. Ain't you got no gingerbread? Ain't you got no candy? Something, something, something for me and little Andy. Me and little Sandy. Ain't you got no gingerbread? Ain't you got no candy? I'm riding a scooter and my name is Little Sandy. I gotta take a break. More next.
It's TJ, The Green-Eyed Patriot on Charlotte's FM News Talk 107.9 WBT. Delivering pinpoint political and cultural analysis with wit and Southern charm. It's the TJ Ritchie Show on 107.9 FM WBT, Charlotte's FM News Talk.
All right. Woo! We got the nighttime on fire. Even though it's not dark yet, we still lighting it up, baby. Unapologetic, in-your-face, conservative analyses delivered by Mr. Old, White, and Gifted, the Green-Eyed Patriot. 704-570-1079. If you got something to say, let's go on with it. Let's see, we got a bunch of texts coming in after that last thing about little Sandy Cortez. All right, okay. This is what I said it reminded me of. And look, this is live radio, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not a big planner. I don't put a lot of stuff in place and etch it in stone that I have to do at a certain time every night. Wherever I'm not going to say vibe because I'm not a dope head or a child, so I'm not going to say it's a vibe. So wherever the mood goes, wherever the attitude is of the show, or wherever the topics lead, and I get to riffing, that's where I'm going to go. All right, so one more time. Here's the creepy new AOC little Sandy Cortez voice that she has debuted. Listen.
Trickle down effect. Because when that guy can do it and become president of the United States, then what happens is that you get all these members that think, oh, well, you know what? I can, being a member of Congress is nowhere near the responsibility of being president of the United States. I can abuse people and still keep my job too.
Okay, so that's what she sounds like. And then here is the song I was talking about from Dolly Parton that reminded me of.
Before I could say a word, she said, my name is Sandy, and this here is my puppy dog. Its name is Little Andy.
Huh? Sandy has little Andy. So we got little Sandy on a scooter in D.C. riding around, and we got my name is Sandy, and this here is my little puppy dog, and his name, this is my puppy dog. His name is Andy. Hello, Andy. Andy and Sandy. Vote Democrat.
Before I could say a word, she said, my name is Sandy, and this here is my puppy dog. Its name is Little Andy.
Whoa, creepy.
I can, being a member of Congress is nowhere near the responsibility of being president of the United States. I can abuse people.
Whoa. It's uncanny. You know what? I just love that. I do. Speaking of little children, I don't know. Surely you've heard this news by now because you've been alive today. It's been everywhere. Baby Jessica has been arrested. Now, if you're, probably over the age of, maybe 45, you know exactly who Baby Jessica is. Baby Jessica was one of the biggest topics of the year. I graduated from high school, Winfield Senior High School in Winfield, Louisiana. Because Baby Jessica was the baby that fell into the well. And the whole country watched breathlessly as she was rescued from that well. You know why they called her Baby Jessica? Lonnie Ray, you know why they called her Baby Jessica?
No, I don't.
Because her name's Jessica and she was a baby.
Okay.
Swear to God, that's why they call her.
You got it.
Back in 1987, they were good at coming up with unique nicknames, like Baby Jessica. So she's 40 now. And she was arrested Saturday night over a disturbance at her home in Midland County, Texas, where she's believed to live with her husband, Daniel Morales, and their 2 children. Authorities have not released details about the incident, but Baby Jessica was charged with assault causing bodily injury involving family violence. And Baby Jessica looks like you would not want to mess with her. I mean, she looks rough. She looks like she's been living in the well all this time. I mean, no offense. No offense. But here's the thing. This is one of those issues where this poor woman can never do anything in her life, because this was such a huge deal. She can never do anything in life without people saying, there's Baby Jessica. You know who that is? That's Baby Jessica. She was in the well. They rescued her from the well. Oh my God, she was down there for so many days, and the whole country came together. And it was akin to the moon landing in 1969. How many people were watching the rescue of Baby Jessica? Yeah, I mean, I was a senior in high school. I'm 17. I got that mullet blazing. Bow, it's highlighted. It's permed up in the back. I'm driving a 1984 Firebird, blue in color. Had a 305 with a 4-barrel and a Delco stereo system, factory that would blow you out of there. Hell yeah. I wasn't studying no Baby Jessica. No, I'm kidding. I was going to say, even I knew, all the kids knew about Baby Jessica. Even cool kids like I was. I'm out running the roads. I'm doing my thing, but I had to stop and watch Baby Jessica. That's how big it was. So now she's 40 and can't even get arrested for domestic dispute, domestic violence, or whatever it was, without it making the national news. Now, is that fair to Baby Jessica? I don't think so. You think she ever gets tired of being Baby Jessica? She's like, okay, look, I fell in. My parents weren't watching me like they should have been. They took their eyes off of me. I fell down in this tiny well. It was a miracle they got me out of there. They twisted me around like a pretzel and fished me out of there. Like, I don't know how. I know I've seen it a million times. It's historical. Everybody learns about it in school, and I get it. But let me just have some peace. I mean, she's all tatted up, and I mean, she looks like, as soon as they get through taking this mugshot, I'm going to whip the photographer's at, is what I'm going to do. That's what she looks like in her mugshot. Got the orange jumpsuit on, the whole thing. And you know what? It looks like she's been there before. You know, she's like, you know how they say when you score a touchdown not to dance and act a fool? They always say, act like you've been there. She's doing that in jail. She's acting like she's been there. Lonnie Ray, are you too young to know about Baby Jessica?
I'm still over trying to figure it out.
Okay, see, yeah, because what, you're 37, 38?
38, yep.
38, oh, that's what I said. Anybody that's 45 and up knows Baby Jessica, because it was huge. But yeah, you're too young. But it was miraculous. It was a miraculous thing. It was very lovely for everybody to come together as they did and send the prayers out to Baby Jessica to have her released from that well. And she was released, and the country was all taking a deep breath together, a sigh of relief, if you will. It was a very lovely moment. It was so lovely. Everybody put their differences aside, and they was rooting and praying for Baby Jessica. And Baby Jessica come out of there, and she was all twisted up, looked like her arm was like twisted down to where her leg coming out. And then she looked like, I mean, I'm not kidding, she looked like that she had been taken and wadded up into a paper ball by the time they got her out of there. But then she was perfectly fine. They did a story on her several years ago. It said, hey, the life of Baby, is whatever anniversary that was of it, maybe the 30th anniversary, maybe the 25th anniversary of her rescue. And she seemed to be doing fine. Now, all of a sudden, boom, you look, she's caged heat. One wrong move, caged heat. I wish I knew what that tattoo on her chest was, though. You know, the V-neck, it plunges down on the neckline a little bit on that jumpsuit, but it doesn't go down far enough to see what's on there. And it kind of looks like her eyebrows are tattooed on as well. Maybe not. Maybe she just hadn't touched them up. But woo. She's been living under a microscope her whole life. The baby Jessica. Little BJ, as she'll be called now in the penitentiary, as Caged Heat. All right, I got to take a break. We'll get on something serious. Maybe coming up next. Hang on.
TJ, the realist Ritchie, on 107.9 WBT, Charlotte's FM News Talk. Night has fallen, and the green-eyed patriot is on the air. It's the TJ Ritchie Show on Charlotte's FM News Talk, 107.9 FM, WBT.
I don't know what he says in that song. That's what it sounds like to me. Maybe he doesn't say words. Maybe he just makes noises. Maybe he just makes sounds. I don't know. Oh, wow. How lucky are you people getting to listen to me, a has-been radio star? All right, you can fade it out, Lonnie. Oh, I'm not giving the phone number here. They ought to know it by now. They ought to be paying attention. I don't have to say it every time. Blah, 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 blah. Y'all got to keep up. You got to keep up. Come on now. And by y'all, I mean John and Joan Q listener. I'm not talking to Lonnie Ray and, what's his name? What you call him? Andrew. He's so sophisticated. Andrew. He said, don't call him little Andy. That's Andrew. Okay. So, as I was talking about, I guess it was last week, Charlotte is now, moving away from being known as the NASCAR capital of America. And it is now being known as the crazy judge and magistrate capital of America. Because the judge in Charlotte, the big dangerous city, dropped the bond amount of a known Trinidad Aragua gang member, illegal alien from Venezuela. Dropped it from $100,000 to $25,000. No justification was given. The fellow's name is Luis. Luis was charged after he fired a gun, and his pregnant wife wrestled it away from him, but sadly in the process, the gun fired and the bullet struck her stomach and killed her 7-month-old baby, according to the report. So why not? Why not make it easier for him to get out of jail? It only makes sense for you to do that, Why would you want to make it harder for him to get out of jail? That's just cruel. Absolutely cruel. Now, my philosophy is, they go, why do these judges do this? Why do these magistrates do this? I think, and again, this is just my opinion. I don't talk to people about these sorts of things. I don't have some political science guru that I can call up as a consultant and go, hey, here's my theory on this. What do you think? I just go by what I observe. And most of the time, I would be willing to bet that people who are real political commentators either roll their eyes or laugh at the stuff I say as if it's not even surreal. Are you serial? You're not even serial with this. But I think when these judges do this, they are either being threatened or paid? Possibly both. Because why else would you just go back and just reduce them? Seriously. What would make you want to do that? Unless you are, and I don't think that they're dead set like these evil doers, these, in a lair coming up with plans on how to tear apart society by releasing the criminals onto the streets and all that. I think that's part of the biggest plan of the people who are in charge of things, the Marxist communists in America that are trying to tear us down. But these dumb judges, these dumb magistrates who aren't qualified to even be doing what they're doing, I think they do it. And most of them are women. You got to throw that out there as well. Most of them are women, dumb women, stupid women, are doing it because they're being threatened or paid. And that's giving them the benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying? Because I like giving people the benefit of the doubt. If I'm anything in this world, I am fair. I'm hard but fair. So, I mean, you're talking about, organized crime here. So if a judge gets threatened or paid off, but then again, you can't get paid off unless you're going to eventually get threatened. Your life has just been threatened. Sorry, that's part of a West Coast rap song by West Side Connection, Ice Cube, WC, and Mac 10. Little trio there. Your life has just been threatened. It's an echo. Yeah, because I can't figure out why you would want to do any of those things if you're a normal thinking American. As an officer of the court, you would do something like that, unless you're just an evil woman, or since it is like a lot of these judges and magistrates who are letting all these hardened criminals back out on the street more easily. Maybe it's because they're sexually attracted to them. You ever thought about that? Maybe they've got some sort of a caged heat thing going on because they're bad guys. Oh yeah, gets the motor running underneath that robe. But no, I think it's one of the others. I think it's threatened or paid off. Now, I'm sure I'll get some heat for that, but you know what? I don't care. At least I'm not turning criminals back out onto the streets. And it is, man. It is a Charlotte thing. It is a Charlotte thing. So you got banking is what Charlotte's known for, NASCAR, Ric Flair, Billy Graham, Michael Jordan, and judges who let hardened criminals back out on the street to wreak havoc on innocent citizens. What? I don't even know why there would be why was the person not completely remanded? Why do they have a bail? Why do they have that? If you're an illegal alien and you are accused of shooting a woman in the stomach and killing her baby, why would you even have a bail amount set at all? Much less have a bail amount set and then come back and lower it from $100,000 to $25,000. Did they check behind these people? Did they go behind and go, hey, okay, now why'd you do that? Because, I mean, it said, no justification was given. No justification was given. Right here. Boom. Just because I wanted to. You say, hey, excuse me, magistrate, why did you do that? To make it easier for this guy to get back out on the streets. She goes, because I said. Because I said, that's why. Don't worry about it. Did she do it because he's sexy? Did she do it because she's getting money? Did she do it because she's scared? We need to find out. For her sake, we need to find out. To protect her. Wouldn't you think? Who's in charge of that? Should I lead that? I think I should be the one to lead an investigation of some sort. Ooh, what would I wear? That's the big question. I'd have to get something new. I have to get me, since it's spring, I have to get me a new linen outfit to go investigating. Looking like Don Johnson up in there or something. All right, hang on. Hour 2 is coming up. You don't want to miss that. Next.
He's America's coolest conservative and the future king of talk radio. 107.9 FM WBT presents The TJ Ritchie Show.
Welcome to Hour 2. Soy el jefe de la radio. I am the boss of the radio. 704-570-1079. That is the phone number. That is the talking. You know, if you want to talkie, you can talkie. If you want to texty, you can texty. Thanks to Liberty Buick GMC on that texting thing. Now, don't be giving them credit for the talking thing. They just pay for the texting part. I pay for the talking part. So it costs me money to be up on here every night. I do it for you. I do it for you and your continuing education. That's why. That's why I'm here. That is why. All right. There is a man that I've seen several of his videos and all, and some of it is a little bit farther than I normally would go on certain issues, but for the most part, I agree with his principles on what they call the culture issues, the culture wars and whatnot. Now, I'm always talking about how the communists in America, that would be the Democrats, the Democrat rulers, the bosses of the Democrat Party, are trying their best to break apart our society, to continue to diminish the family, to completely do away with the family so that everybody turns to the government for support, not their family. The birth rate plummeting in America, getting lower and lower every year. That's exactly what they want. That's why they promote things like homosexuality so much, and transgenderism, and single motherhood, and dinks. Dinks are couples that brag about never wanting to have kids or anything. It stands for dual income, no children, no kids. Dual income, no kids. And that's why all of this hysteria about making dogs your children instead of having real ones and all that kind of stuff. Well, this is a guy's philosophy on how feminism operates in order to aid the communists in doing away with our society as it is. It's I think it's very interesting, and we can learn something from it. Check it out.
Central driver behind feminism? Fear. Behind every feminist is a fear of pain, risk, accountability, relationships, responsibility, submission, and motherhood. The feminist solution to fear is control. They control their lives by remaining single or avoiding masculine men. They control their income by chasing career instead of resting in provision. They control their pregnancies through birth control and abortions. They control their mood through hormones and antidepressants and endless therapy. The problem is that when you optimize harm reduction long enough, you ultimately end up single, childless, medicated, but safe. Recent research shows that between 1980 and 2024, conservative white women have consistently married and had children. But liberal white women went from 1 child in 1980 to 0.51 children per woman in 2024. That's a 50% drop and officially makes them a self-eliminating group. Now, why does this matter? Feminism, like homosexuality, leads to reproductive death. It's a form of ideological sterilization. You are so opposed to God's design for humanity that you live a life that leads to your own genetic extinction. Ultimately, feminism, like homosexuality, is a death cult. So when you hear a feminist talk about liberation, you now know what they're talking about. They're being liberated from a meaningful life, the joys of marriage and motherhood, and ultimately the liberation from their own lineage.
Whoa. Boom. So I agree with the fact that that feminism itself comes from insecurity and a desire to control every aspect of your life so you don't have to be disappointed or you don't have to relinquish control of your life. And that's what this tough guy persona is that these radical feminists put up all the time. I can do whatever a man can do. I don't need a man. I don't need anybody. And that's why they're always so ready to attack. Just like, you don't challenge me. Nothing challenges me. Don't tell me what to do. You don't tell me this. I don't do what you say. I'm not relinquishing any part of my life, none of the control of my life to you. But I always say, if feminists are so tough, they want to make it a point to talk about how tough they are, how strong they are, how much, some of them don't even say that we're just as strong as men at everything a man can do. We can do just what they say better. We can do it better. We don't need a man. We can do whatever a man can do better. We're bigger and stronger. We're more powerful than men. And then they crumble when they hear words they don't like. They crumble. They're so tough, yet they crumble when something gets thrown at them that they don't want to deal with. They just don't want to have to deal with. They don't want to explain themselves. They don't want to have to answer to anybody. So when that gets thrown at them, they're so tough and so strong and so powerful, yet something that they don't like immediately shuts them down into a cowardice ball so often. Here's an example of that just from yesterday. The commissioner of the WNBA was at a press conference. She was asked a question, a normal question, by a woman reporter. She didn't like the question. Here's how she dealt with it. Listen.
With the New York Post, Adam Silver was asked last month about just your future as the commissioner of the WNBA, and he said he didn't know what you wanted to do. So I guess I'm just curious, how much do you want to stay the commissioner of the WNBA? How much longer do you anticipate to be in this role?
Well, thank you, Maddie. I do crack up how everybody's focused on me, and you should be focused on the hundreds of amazing women and thousands of women who run this league outside of myself. Our women owners, our women board of governors, our women GMs and women head coaches, and my whole team of diverse women and men who are working hard every day to get the 30th season tipped off by May 8th. But I appreciate that you're focused on me as well. I wonder whether you would ask that of a man, by the way. But I realize as women, we get asked different questions than men do. But look, I'm so proud. And
so she wouldn't ask that of a man. What are you talking about? So she starts out with, she's so defensive. Okay, well, take the attention off of me because this is a hard question. This is a question I don't like. She's asked me how long I want to continue being the commissioner of the WNBA. What a completely off base question that is. What an offensive question that is. Oh my God. She's doing a press conference and a sports reporter, which I'm no fan of sports reporters of either sex. The sports media is more liberal than the regular media, but that's a side story. But so she asked this legitimate question: how much longer do you? Because it's been a topic. How much longer do you want to be the commissioner of the WNBA? Get that attention off me. I find it curious because we have all of these strong women and these strong women and this team of diverse women and men and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And then I wonder if you would ask that question of a man. You would ask that question of a man. And the reporter goes, yes, I would. That's what I'm talking about. They crumble. So this guy's onto something. That the reason that they have this desire to always be, I'm in your face, look at me, I'm a radical feminist, you can't mess with me, I'm so strong, is because of their insecurities and their desire to completely control every aspect of the world around them. They're not just control freaks like normal women are, where they're telling you how to drive every time you get behind the wheel like you don't know how. We're telling you to go to the bathroom before you leave the house. Like a child. No, not that kind of control freak. Just I've got to be in control of everything because I cannot let my guard down because I don't want to have to field anything coming at me that is unpleasant. But you know what? You can't defend yourself constantly and make sure. You can't live in a sadness-proof world. You can't sadness-proof or anger-proof or any of that stuff. You're a bubble around you. So sooner or later, when it does happen, then it just flies all over them, and they can't take it. That's why they're always so angry, and that's why they're always ready to lash out at every little thing because they're always in attack mode. Like you should have seen that woman's face when she got asked that question. She had a smile plastered on her face, like I could kill you for asking me that question. How dare you? She went into Tucker Carlson mode. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? Tucker Carlson, how dare you? That's going around, I guess. That's the trendy thing. How dare you? All right. I just thought that was interesting. And if I think it's interesting, then I assume you'll think it's interesting. So if you don't, then you're banned from the show. Don't listen anymore. All right. Got to take a break. I'm kidding, of course. I need all 11 of you. Hang on.
The TJ Ritchie Show is on. More next on Charlotte's FM News Talk 107.9 WPT. 11 listeners strong and holding. It's the TJ Ritchie Show on 107.9 FM. Charlotte's FM News Talk WPT.
You hear me doing it. Unapologetic in your face conservatism. That's what it is. That's what it is. (704-570-1079). That is the phone number. Call it or text it. Okay, so we have a call here. We'll go ahead and take Jamie. Jamie, you got a question about the trans issue?
Yeah, I was listening to you last night. I was thinking we have trans women, which are basically males.
Yeah.
That they think they shouldn't be able to go into the women's bathroom.
Right.
Well, you get thinking about it, that's not the thing to do because women are afraid when men come into the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what I think is kind of funny is there's no trans men, which are females, dying to go into the men's bathroom.
Yeah.
Even they know they don't want to be around men in bathrooms, even though they say they are men. It's kind of a double standard on the trans action that goes on.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's just like if you've ever been to a concert or a ball game or something, and maybe even back in the day when I was going to the clubs, the women's bathroom always has this long line and all, and then the men's room doesn't have much. So there would always be a couple of drunk girls that would sneak into the men's room. And if they got into the men's room, let's say at a ball game or something, the men give them a hero's welcome in there. Hey, and they come in, and they're all partying it up and everything. But if the opposite would have happened back when I was young, then that guy would have those two guys would have gotten arrested if you just wandered into the ladies' room and said, "Hey, I need to use it. Our line's too long." But yeah, it's one. There are a couple of things I think. One, because the mindset of the men always being the aggressors in the situation, and that the men are the dangerous ones whenever there's a woman around in a private space. Exactly. And the other thing is because a lot of these quote unquote trans men who are men pretending to be women are living out a fetish. And they're turned on by being in those situations because so many of them you'll hear say, I'm attracted to women, but I am a woman, but I'm still attracted to women. So they go in there because it feeds a fetish that they have.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
But you're right. You don't see it the other way. That's a good point.
You never see it the other way, but they won't say that out loud.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Jamie. I appreciate you listening, buddy. Thanks for the help. You did a good job on the radio. Thank you. Okay, so we had an example of again, the commucrats trying to ruin civilization by, promoting transgenderism and homosexuality and that the feminism itself is to keep women from settling down, having kids, and that whole concept. Here's another one. This is from Colorado. I think it's Jefferson County, Colorado. Something that they're doing now. The taxpayers are going to be paying for vasectomies. Listen to this.
Believe that it is both a women's health service as well as a men's service. So it really does, empower the entire community to make reproductive health choices. And this allows them to have access, which is, a fundamental.
Okay, so she got all of these liberal leftist buzz terms in there. Again, try to name some of them, have access, reproductive choices. There's another one that she's using. She's got them all down. She's got the entire script down. Let's see.
Principle of our public health department. I do believe that it is both a women's health service as well as a men's service. So it really does, empower the entire community to make reproductive health choices. And this allows them to have access.
Okay, now, taxpayer money going to vasectomize young men. Why? Why is that a problem? Why is it an issue that men need to be going? Why are they talking men and trying to promote men into going in and getting vasectomized? Now, in all candor, because I tell the truth about myself personally, I have been vasectomized. But I have 2 children, and it was I'm not Catholic, so it was a family planning thing that my wife and I decided after that boy of ours was born. We said, we don't want any more of him. And get vasectomized. So here, and then this is just something that you gain as a shortcut for these types of things on making a decision that you gain from listening to me that you don't get from anybody else. You know right away as a listener to this show why you should never trust anything or adjust your life to however this woman is telling you you should. So if this woman is telling you something is good, there is something about her right away that tells you that she is not to be listened to. You should not follow what she says. And after that, you don't even need to hear the rest of the words. Once you hear this,
believe that it is both a women's health service as well as
it's both a women's health service as well as
a men's service. So it really does, empower the entire community to make
going up on the community, up at the
reproductive health choices. And this allows them to have access.
Whenever you hear somebody speaking that way, don't trust them. Don't pay attention to anything they say, unless they're little kids If they're a little kid, then you pay attention to them and you laugh and it's funny and all of that. But if an adult is speaking like that, don't even take them seriously. If you hear an adult ending their sentences or ending their words on an upspeak, the last syllable of the word goes up, then you know they are not a serious person and you should never listen to what they say or make any decisions based upon their opinions. When they sing-song their words, they are not to be taken seriously. So there you go. Doesn't matter what she's saying. She sounds like a child. Therefore, she should not be taken seriously, especially when it comes to that. I'm going to let some sing-song you talking woman tell me, hey, we done paid for you to get a vasectomy in here. Go to see this, we'll do it in the back room. What? Hell no. So today we're going to give you a Percocet and you will not be completely unconscious, but you will feel no pain. It is an outpatient procedure. Drop your pants, get in the stirrups. Here comes the blade. No, thank you. But that's the latest. How can we stop people from having kids? Maybe they're doing that now. All right, we got to come up with a new way to replace promoting having dogs instead of kids, since all of the Islamists are fighting against dogs and we got to cater to them. They don't want dogs around, so we got to get off of that. We got to get people to turn in their dogs. We're going to have a buyback program on dogs because the Islamists don't like them. So we got to just start sterilizing men right off the bat. I mean, that is some straight up dictator, serious, sick communist crap right there. Whoa. But you know not to take it seriously because we've gone over this lesson in the past about when people speak this way. So we're ahead of the game here. So guess what? I've got to take a break. We will have more coming up next.
The realest your radio has ever been. TJ Ritchie is on Charlotte's FM News Talk 107.9 WPT. Text everybody in your contacts list and tell them that Ritchie's on. Welcome back to the TJ Ritchie Show on Charlotte's FM News Talk 107.9 FM WPT.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to the show. I appreciate it. And for being so participatory on the texts and on the phone. I know this is probably way off base, but night after night, I feel the show may be growing a little bit. I mean, not enough to make a difference, really. I mean, I think my listenership here is probably minuscule. 11 people at most, like I always say, but I don't know. I'm kind of feeling it from time to time. There's other nights where I feel like I'm just in a barrel. And nobody, I'm like Baby Jessica in the well. But thank you anyway for participating in the show. I really do. I appreciate you. Here is a text from Jen that came up in here. We're talking about feminism and how it's, just I don't know, it's a form of insecurity and having to control this state of having to control everything around you or thinking that you can control everything around you. She said, I was a feminist before I was saved, and that's exactly what it is. Insecurity that causes you to need to control everything around you because your guard is always up. It really sucks. So if she means saved as in saved by the Jesus, the Lord, then that makes complete sense, because then you rely on God to you put that, as the kids say, on God. You put that on God, on baby Jesus. So when you're a godless feminist running around, you feel like you're, it's an arrogance, it's a narcissistic kind of thing, where everything is about me, everything's against me. I've got to fight every little thing, or I'm going to end up being this way or that way, instead of just relax and put it on baby. You know what I'm saying? That's what the deal is. Okay. Our little Somali fraudster in Congress, Ilhan Omar. Oh, the mean little wench. The little cobra. Spitting cobra. Ilhan Omar, it seems that there have been some documents uncovered that say that she requested a $1 million earmark, for her people back home. That's when they go and they represent their districts, and they fight to get their district things in Congress. And she was fighting for an earmark of $1 million for a substance abuse clinic. Okay, well, that's important. But this is not only how a lot of that Somali fraud that's been uncovered has worked. You go in and they say, all right, we want this and we need this earmark, and then it goes to these fraudulent, agencies that have been set up. But this was legit. It was a substance abuse clinic that actually turned out to be a restaurant run by some of her fellow Somalis. Oh, naughty, naughty. Now, this kind of stuff has been going on, for years and years and years and years, way before we ever let any Somalis into the country. This has been going on with American politicians forever. But now that everybody's on high alert because of the vast fraud from the Somalis in America at the Leering centers and whatnot, it's bringing light to the entire process of how it works. And that mean, vicious Ayanna Pressley, that she-devil, that hellcat from Massachusetts, seems that they're looking into her as well for some shadiness and shenanigans that have gone on, where her net worth was in the negative when she got into Congress. And I think it was her husband, the way the story goes. I'm just trying to bring it up here from where I saw it today. I don't have it in front of me. Her husband quit his job and then set up some sort of another type of situation where it was an investment firm or something like that, and their net worth went from being negative something or another to being over $1 million, just like that. So they're looking into that situation. But you know what's going to happen. You can already hear it, right? They can get them dead to rights. They can have all the evidence. And what's the defense going to be? Starts with an R. Well, with Ayanna Pressley, it'll be an R. Racists. Oh, you racists. Ilhan Omar will have two. She'll have an R and an I. They'll be racist Islamophobes. Oh, how dare you. Tucker Carlson, how dare you? How dare you? How dare you? But, Tucker may be there to fight for all the Somalis. He may stand right up in the way and say, hey, these are my people. You are not going to hold them accountable because they is my people, is what Aunt Tucker may say. The hysterical Aunt Tucker. Auntie, chill. Damn. So that would be sweet, wouldn't it? If Ayanna Pressley, that hellcat Ayanna Pressley, and then the snake wench Ilhan Omar both got popped at the same time for fraud. Oh, I think it was North Carolina's own hippie liberal James Taylor who said it best when he said, "How sweet it is." That's what we'd be singing. How sweet it is to put you in jail. It's like jelly, baby. We'd be like, just yesterday morning, they let me know you were gone. Ill on the plans they may put it into you. I walked out this morning and I wrote down this song. I just can't remember which jail to send it to. Man, look, I don't drink anymore because I'm trying, I'm on a diet. But if Ilhan Omar and Ayanna Pressley both got sent to Mean Girl jail, man, I would, as my grandparents say, I'd pull a big drunk on that one. We'd throw a party in the uptown. All 11 of us doing a bar crawl. Even some of you that don't drink, we just go along for the revelry. Just, yes. Take to the streets. Get old Rashida Tlaib at the same time. I know she's been up to something crooked. Just get her too. All of them. Tim Walz. Put them all in there. Let's see. Hey, TJ, do you think Jesus Trump will be able to save us? Okay, so I'm looking here, and this guy, Kevin, has been trying to get... He must be one of those that tries to get a response out of all the hosts and everything. Because he says Trump as Jesus on several of his messages lately to people. I do have an opinion about Trump's Jesus thing. That's why I read that one, because I do have an opinion about it, about the AI deal that he did. So I got something else that I was planning on doing in the last segment here. So if I have time, I will address the Trump Jesus thing. If I don't, then it's Kevin's fault, because I'm not doing it just to spite him. I'm kidding, of course. Hang on, more coming up.
It's the TJ Ritchie Show on 107.9 WBT, Charlotte's FM News Talk. If you're an emotionally fragile liberal and would like to complain to WBT management about TJ, don't waste your time. They don't like him much either. Back to the TJ Ritchie Show on 107.9 FM WBT, Charlotte's FM News Talk.
Soy el jefe de la radio. Buenas noches. The night has fallen. Your favorite has-been radio star on the air everywhere with courageous conservatism. 704-570-1079 is the phone number. Look. Everybody knows I am no fan of Roy Cooper. As a matter of fact, I think Roy Cooper is one of the absolute worst human beings that has ever held a public office in U.S. America. And I think that if he is elected to the Senate, then it is a complete and total disgrace. And it makes my mouth start to water thinking about it. Just that. When you know you're about to throw up, you get that watery in your mouth. That's what I start to feel when I imagine Roy Cooper winning this election for Senate. But I will say congratulations to Roy, Iron-Fisted Roy, because he's made it into the elite list, the upper echelon of leaders in the country. Because he was mentioned in former vice president and presidential Democrat presidential hopeful Kamala Harris's book, and they mentioned it on the MSNBC. Remember this? Listen.
She took notes from those calls, and she prints the notes in her book, page 17. Bill Clinton says, "Oh my God, I'm so relieved. Send me anywhere. Make this your own campaign." Hillary Clinton, "We'll do whatever we can. We'll jump on a plane. We'll get on Amtrak." Jim Clyburn says, "Let's go. I'm all in." Roy Cooper, governor of North Carolina, says, "Before you say anything, I'm all in."
Yes. And there's an X site called Watley War Room that has been posting stuff all day about Roy Cooper singing the praises of Kamala Harris. So when they picked her, or they were about to pick her to, force her into the nomination without a single person voting for her, she quoted Roy Cooper in her book saying, "Yes, before you even say yes, I'm with you," whatever he said. "I love you, Kamala." Such a great decision maker. Oh, he knows how to call him, doesn't he? Oh. And so real, He's such a real guy. Nothing fake about Roy Cooper, that's for sure. That is for sure. Bless his heart. Bless his heart. Okay. So everybody is, for the last couple of days been up in arms about President Trump posting an AI image where it appears that he's made himself look like the Jesus, like he's laying his hands on someone to heal them, and there are all kinds of other different images in the one picture and all that. And of course, people got offended by it. So this is not right. He took it down, and he said that it was a misunderstanding. He thought it was like a Red Cross thing, and he was a healer. He was healing like a doctor. Which, listen, I think President Trump has saved us from so much harm. I think he has saved us from, at least he's delayed our liberty being completely taken away from us by a bunch of Marxists called the Democrat Party. But I didn't like the picture. I understand people not liking it. Here's what I think. As a person who is always joking around, always, trying to get a rise out of people for funniness, sometimes jokes don't land properly. I think that's probably what happened, is that he posted, he thought it'd be funny, thought it would get a rise out of the media and poke fun at the Democrats, get them all riled up. But it didn't land the way that he imagined that it would. Okay, so he took it down. The thing, I don't agree with the picture anyway, but that's what I think happened. I don't think he maliciously was out saying, "Yes, I am the Jesus," whatever. A lot of people are upset by the plain-spoken way that he's lashed out at the Pope Leo, because, Leo is another liberal Pope. So I get it that popes are going to put themselves in situations where they're getting into politics, and we should be able to rebut them. I'm not Catholic, so the Pope, it's not that, it's not the same to me as it is to a Catholic person. So I'm not one to run around and go, "You can't speak of the Pope that way." I'm not like that. But a liberal Pope is just as dangerous with their ideas as any other liberal leader is, to me. That last Pope, Pope Francis, was a disaster. I think he was a full communist, honestly. But again, I'm not big on getting into, political fisticuffs with the Pope. But all of these fake Democrats and media people acting like they are so shocked, and how dare he do, oh my God, he's so awful. Look what he's done. How can he spit in the face of Catholics like this when they're doing it every other day? they're coming after Catholics, and and they go after the Pope when the Pope says something about still being against abortion and all their little issues. So they can spare me all of the pearl clutching and the fainting. Oh, they can go pound sand on that. Now, I don't know why the president said what he said about Riley Gaines. Riley Gaines, the swimmer who has really fought a hard fight. She's been through a lot fighting against these men being in women's sports. And she said she disagreed with the picture and all. And then he said something about, I didn't hear Riley Gaines. So as a matter of fact, I'm not that big a fan of hers. Like, why would he say that? I don't know. I don't know if it's just that he has this hang up where if anybody disagrees with him, then he has to lash out. I don't know. But I didn't like that either. So, but regardless, if I disagree with the way he handled this, I disagree. But that doesn't mean that he's still not the greatest thing that we could have in this moment as our leader, because he is. Ron DeSantis being a close second, and hopefully Ron DeSantis will take his place when his time is up. But yeah, I don't, and Riley Gaines was like, she didn't take, go off on him or any of that kind of stuff for what he said about her. But yeah, I don't understand that. I can kind of come up with rationale for posting the picture and then taking it down and you realize I shouldn't have done that. But lashing out at her, saying, I'm not that big a fan of her. I'm not a fan of hers anyway. What do you mean? She's been there with you. She hadn't done anything that I know of. That's why I'm asking. Did she do anything like Tucker Carlson and that smut mouth Megyn Kelly have done, where they just flipped on him and done all this other stuff that they do because they have no morals or principles to stand by? They'll go wherever the money takes them. Their opinions go where the money is. I don't think Riley Gaines has done that. I don't know. But see, that's the beauty of just being a has-been morning show radio star. I don't have to have answers to these types of things. I have no credibility, so I can ask questions and leave them hanging out there just like you do. But I'll get on it. Let me tell you that. I'll get on it. I'll do some investigating. I'll find out what the deal is. If he has some kind of behind-the-scenes beef with Riley Gaines. Ooh. All right, that's it for tonight. Thank God. I know you people are tired of me. Nick Craig is coming up next. He's been on fire, bringing in all the news stories and everything, cutting edge, breaking stories. God loves you and ain't nothing you can do about it. I'll talk to you tomorrow.